All right, so here is a quick build that I put together for this week's Master Crota raid challenge, which is the bridge encounter, and the challenge is to cross the bridge while the bridge is deconstructing, which is a fairly easy challenge as long as you are coordinating with your teammates on when you're about to cross. So whenever somebody's going to cross the bridge, they need to basically count down 3, 2, 1, coordinate with whoever is on the center plate that controls the bridge, um, count down to 3 or whatever, and as soon as the person with the sword or the chalice hits the beginning of the bridge, the person that's on the middle plate should jump off. So 3, 2, 1, get off plate, person crosses, the bridge is deconstructing, and roughly halfway through the bridge deconstructing, you have to just jump and sword swipe your way across. You'll be fine, especially if you're on Strand. Like if you're the person with a chalice, but obviously if you have the sword, you're just gonna sword skate across. But generally speaking, if you time it right, you don't even need to sword skate. Like you just do your normal jump and you'll make it. And then everybody that crosses the bridge at any point, whether you're going back with the chalice to save somebody that died on the other side, it doesn't matter. You always have to do the same thing. You always have to cross the bridge, cross the opening with the bridge deconstructed. So pretty straightforward. Sorry about the train in the background. This is just kind of another casual, chill video that I wanted to just get out there for you guys. But I wanted to cover the weekly surges real quick, just so you know what you might want to build into. Ideally, you should match one of these subclasses, so Strand and Void. That means that all of your abilities from those elements will do more damage, whether it's on a weapon or it's part of your subclass. Overcharged weapons, so there's a ton of weapons that you can use. All kinetic weapons will get a 25% surge as long as you are on a Strand or Void subclass. But also all champion weapons will get a 25% surge, and fusion rifles. Uh, um, and also, depending on the artifact perks that you pick, the raid weapons, as well as some of the weapons from this season and last season, I think, are all overcharged weapons for the whole season. Well, whenever overcharged weapons is a modifier that's active. So those are our considerations for modifiers. The shields aren't a big deal. There's no orange or yellow bars with shields that are harder to take down in this encounter. All the enemies that have shields, there's a couple of red bar wizards and there's a couple of red bar knights with arc and solar shields. But because they're red bar enemies, the shields are easy to break even without matching the shield. And they are so few and far between that it's really not an issue. So if you saw last week, I did the Abyss challenge with all Strand subclasses as well, because we had Strand and Solar. And Strand for the movement tech in the Abyss encounter is clutch. So I ran a different Strand build for my Titan last week, which was with strongholds and different. I was using Into the Fray, Banner of War, a sword, and you can check that video out. That was a different build than this. This is a classic Abeyant Leaps Titan build that we've all grown to love over the past 6, 7, 8 months, however long it's been since Strand released. Since we got Abeyant Leaps, this is just kind of the go-to Berserker build. And the way that I play it is pretty much the same way that most of you guys play it, I'm sure. Given the fact that Abeyant Leaps gives you Woven Mail when suspending targets, that frees up a lot of economy in your build crafting that you don't have to invest into Woven Mail, like from Thread of Warding, Into the Fray. because you can suspend often enough, even with the suspend nerfs and the cooldown nerfs to Strand. This build is still just as powerful as it was before, really. You just have to build craft into it a little more than you would before. Which I'll go over the mods and all that kind of stuff, but first, let's look at the aspects and fragments. So, Banner of War is just really great. I just think it's better than Into the Fray if you're using Abeyant Leaps, because our tangles don't really have much of a purpose without Into the Fray. But it doesn't really matter, because the woven mail that you get from the tangle kind of pales in comparison to the healing pulse that you get from Banner of War. And never mind the fact that the woven mail part of it is really obsolete with Dringer's Lash anyways. Because like I said, I'm always suspending stuff, so I'm always getting woven mail. So Abeyant Leaps and Into the Fray are just kind of a little bit at odds with each other. They're both doing the same job, and they don't really need to be together in this build, right? Competing with each other for woven mail, because we can get enough. So threaded continuity, so the suspend lasts longer. And then thread of mind, so killing suspended targets gives you class ability energy. These two are both nerfed. Well, thread of continuity wasn't nerfed so much as just the general suspend duration from Shackle or Dringer's Lash. Just suspending enemies in general got a nerf, like a big nerf. And so the extended duration is, proportionally equal to what it was before. It's just, it's like maybe you get 50% more time on suspend. So you'll suspend like normal enemies for like 8 seconds. Champions you get to suspend for 4 seconds with thread of continuity. Generation also got a nerf, but still every tick of damage does generate grenade energy. It wasn't a huge nerf, it was actually just more of a balancing rework, so that so that instances of damage aren't the only factor. It is also numbers of like the damage value itself. Bigger damage generates more grenade energy, as opposed to where it was before, it was just tick damage. So like 900 RPM submachine guns and machine guns, for example, would generate a ton of grenade energy, whereas now it's a little bit more balanced. Threat of Isolation is good for the sword bearers and the champions. Landing rapid precision hits will sever them, which is 40% more damage resistance. So on top of woven mail, which is 60% damage resistance, you are now handicapping the enemy by reducing their damage output by 40%. And you've got a healing pulse from Banner of War. So you can do any role in this encounter effectively, whether it's standing on an annihilator plate on left or right where you're dealing with constant champions, or whether you're just free roaming the map or controlling the knights for your teammates so that they can come across with a sword and kill them effectively without getting killed because you're doing crowd control. So yeah, the build is just generally tailored for that. Quicksilver Storm because it's breaking barrier shields. Wilder Flight because I can repeatedly blind the knights. This is just more of a utility perk if for some reason I don't have a shackle, which is very rare. But Wilder Flight is just kind of nice to keep constant uptime on blinding the gatekeepers so that your teammates can kill them with the sword, because on master mode you do need survivability. You do need to need to work as a team to try and neutralize the gatekeepers, because they will kill you very fast, and if you don't have a teammate helping you out in that sense, then you really have to run around the map. You have to run away, recover your health, try and strike at the right time. It's just a huge pain. Yeah, so you have teammates for a reason. So be a good teammate. Run a blinding GL on top of your on top of a build that can do some crowd control, ideally. But if you're not on a crowd control build, then definitely go in there with a blinding GL. Circular logic, because machine guns are just very good for this encounter. This is more of an ad clear encounter than anything else, and machine guns are best at that. And even though this circular logic does not have any damage perks, you can see I've got quite a few kills with it, over 3,000. And I use it as just a generally good machine gun. It's an adaptive frame, so it, like Commemoration and Song of Your Ute, same style of weapon. The perks, like I said, on mine aren't that great, but it is good because it's got Demolitionist, which means that I could just constantly throw shackle grenades. Like I said, Demolitionist on a machine gun is just absolutely it turns any build that you have into a grenade build. Like you just get so many grenades. Top tier perk for build crafting. It's worth even sacrificing a damage perk, right? Like I do have another circular logic that I'm going for with, well, I have a bunch with target lock, but I'm trying to get Envious Assassin with target lock as a single target melter, like just for melting champions or yellow bars or whatever, right? Less for ad clear, less for generating grenades while I'm doing ad clear, just more for single target damage. But this one is for the purpose of this encounter, which is to always suspend stuff and always kill stuff. Pretty simple. Then as far as the mods go, Arc Siphon is for what? Okay, that shouldn't even be there. I'm not sure why. I didn't tailor this build specifically to the encounter. I already had this build made up for GMs. I did this on Europa, same build, and so this week, this is the first build that I brought into the challenge. I just said, okay, well, I know that this build's going to work for the encounter, because I know the encounter. I actually did it on contest mode, the bridge, not successfully, but I did it for long enough to learn the difficulty of negative 20 power delta on Crota's end, and so you do need a build. So I just knew that this build was going to work. Because I didn't really fine tune some of this stuff. So Arc Siphon shouldn't be here, basically, is what I'm trying to say. But everything else works just fine. Maybe do solar instead of void resistance. And then shield break charge can also take that off, and you could put on something like heavy handed, so that when you do your frenzied blades to get your banner of war proc, you also get an orb at the same time, which is going to feed your grenade, right? Charged up with stacks on stacks, those work hand in hand. Charged up increases my total armor charge capacity to 4. Stacks on stacks gives me 2 armor charge per orb, right? So even numbers work together. 2 fits into 4 2 times, so I pick up 2 orbs, then I've got 4 stacks of armor charge, which is going to give me almost half of my grenade energy back on throw. So that, in combination with Demolitionist on the machine gun, Threat of Mind, or Threat of Generation, all that just kind of works to make this a suspend build, right? Then Reefer, because I'm casting my Barricade often and killing suspended targets to proc Threat of Mind, I'm also going to produce orbs by doing that. Gosh, I didn't even have Harmonic Siphon on. So none of these Siphon mods were working for me. But if it were, what I would do though is I would just put Harmonic Siphon and Harmonic Targeting for personal preference. And then, yeah, everything else stays the same. Innervation, recuperation, because picking up an orb for a bit of health can be nice if you don't have Banner War proc, I guess. But if you wanted to, you can run something else. I just think recuperation is clutch on Strand, because generally, unless, like I said, with Banner War, coming across healing is a little bit difficult, despite all the damage resistance that you're benefiting from Woven Mail. Like, you're still not getting healing from it. So that's pretty much the build. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed, and feel free to watch the gameplay or shut it off and go check out my Warlock and Hunter, because if you want to get 3 Adept raid weapons per week, then you need to do it on 3 characters, whether you have 3 Titans or 1 of each character. I don't know who would have 3 Titans, but yeah, so if you got all 3 classes, go check out my other videos. I'll have 1 for each. I don't know if they'll all be uploaded within 24 hours of each other, but I've done it on all 3. Oh, and I almost forgot to showcase the Adept weapon that I got was Oversoul Edict. Not a bad roll. Demolicious and Adrenaline Junkie. Man, it's probably not something I'm ever going to use, to be honest. I think I want a Volt Shot Enlightened Action roll or something a little bit more suited to being a pulse rifle, which is not very good for much. I mean, these are definitely synergistic perks. You throw a grenade, get a grenade kill, then boom, you've got 33 or 35% more damage with Adrenaline Junkie times 5, right? So it is a big damage buff. Not doubting that. But yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it. But anyways, that's just to show you. Yeah. See you in the next one. Yeah. Yeah, I think we both need it. Got it. Okay. Somebody have a sword. Who needs it? Call out your name. Alright. Grab. What? Who? Grab it right away, grab it right. Oh. The other guy's name started with KU, so I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, that's fine. Got it. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Yeah, I did this on challenge. It was fucking... Yeah, this was as far as I got though. But I did experience... I got you. Blinding and shackles. You're gonna make him fall out of my shackles. I can take middle. Okay. Okay, we're all on this side. Okay, getting off right now. Okay, I'm getting back on then. Well, that'll be last though, right? You guys have enough enlightened to send one more guy over? Okay. Yeah, well, that, I mean, like, those two people can go last. But if one guy can come across, then that would allow somebody to get off the plate here and bring the chalice across. You have the sword? Tell me when you step on the bridge. Okay, I'm off. Okay. Okay, it's up to you if you want to grab Chalice and bring it back. Go for it. Okay. We do need to step off, so call it out. Okay, 3, 2, 1, I'm off. Go. Okay. I'm off right now. Off. Okay. Nice. Okay, I'm getting back on.
Guardian down.
Okay. Oh, I got the Chalice. Oh my god. Really. Off. Go for it. I'm off. Okay, I'm getting on. Yep, no problem. I'm off.
Guardian down.
Is anybody doing this again? Demo Adrenaline Junkie. I don't. Alright, GG's. Thanks, guys.